Is life going to go back to normal once this pandemic is over? It's a question I've been asking myself now for a while, since this all started, because society has already changed. Things have already changed. Millions of people have lost their jobs. Thousands of businesses are closed down. The government, whatever government, expects the people to stay at home. For how long? If this just went on for a month, you can kind of deal with it. But if this goes on for months and months, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are people just going to carry on just sitting in their houses? No job, no income? How are people expected to earn a living during a lockdown? It seems a bit crazy to me. I mean, on the one hand, you have a highly infectious virus killing people. Now, obviously, the percentage of people that have died compared to the global population is tiny. It's tiny. But let's bear in mind, this is the first wave. These pandemics come in waves. I'm not an expert. I'm not an epidemiologist or a virologist or a scientist. But all you have to do is look at history. All you have to do is watch a couple of YouTube videos about, say for example, the Spanish flu, which came about 100 years ago. Killed between 50 to 100 million people worldwide. It came in waves. The second wave was far deadlier than the first wave. So what's going to happen this time round? It's pretty much unknown, isn't it? Not many people know what's going to happen with the virus. Is it going to mutate, become even deadlier? Is it going to mutate, become less deadly? Is it going to just fade away in a month or two? Is it going to go on for a couple of years? I don't know. And I don't think people out there, anyone out there knows really of what's going to happen here. There's a lot of articles, a lot of experts are going on YouTube talking about it, going on the mainstream media talking about it. They all have their ideas, their opinions, their theories. Obviously, when you listen to an expert virologist that has been working in the field for 40 years, you take them seriously. But we're living in uncharted territory, and I think the economy is suffering, or making people suffer far more than the virus. My heart goes out to all the families out there that have lost loved ones. And imagine losing a loved one, and on top of that you lose your job or your business. Something has to change in this society. Something fundamental has to shift in the way we behave. We can't keep relying on corrupt politicians, to live happy lives. Cannot go on forever like this. This society cannot function properly like this forever. I'm not an expert, but I'm not a historian, but I read books, and I know that every civilization in history, since the beginning of civilization, which is what, 3000 BC? If you look at the history books, the first city was Uruk in Iraq, about 5,000 years ago. And every single civilization has come and gone. Some civilizations were here longer than others, but they all eventually collapsed for different reasons. Maybe the corruption got so bad that their economy collapsed, whoever that may be. Rome, for instance, they were overstretched. They controlled too much land, so they couldn't keep up you know, with all the uprisings that were going on. Eventually, civilizations collapse. Pandemics, wars, natural disasters, whatever it may be. What's different about ours? Why do we think that our civilization is going to go on forever? Eventually, it's going to collapse. Why? For many different reasons. But you can't keep a system going with debt forever. What's the global debt now? Tens of trillions. We're just what? Going to keep that going? Hundreds of trillions? Thousands of trillions? I mean, it's ridiculous. You can't keep a system going that, forever when it's so corrupt. Just look at our system. What was the first thing the American government did when this all kicked off a month ago? Yes, they bailed out the billionaires. The super rich were bailed out. So what's going to happen? They're going to have all the money to be able to buy up all the business that were unable to keep their doors open. So we're going to see Starbucks, everywhere. No more mum and pop stores, no more local cafes. It's going to be all these Starbucks and mega corporations everywhere you look. Is that the future we want? Why do we keep voting for corrupt politicians? Why? Because what? We don't have a choice. We've got to vote for someone. These excuses are no longer going to work. You see, what's happening now? Tens of millions of people are out of work, queuing up in mile-long queues for food. Food banks are being overwhelmed. This society, ladies and gentlemen, needs a massive fundamental shift. And one of those shifts is going to come in human consciousness. The human mind is going to be forced to wake up to a different reality due to some kind of a massive crisis. Now, we're just witnessing the start of this pandemic, the 2020 pandemic, the year of 2020 vision, the year where the human mind is going to wake up in ways that we can't even imagine. A social bomb is coming, right? Society is waking up, ladies and gentlemen. Society is being forced to reevaluate. People are being forced to reevaluate their belief systems. People are being forced to look more closely at how the banking system works, how it really works. What happens when central banks print money that isn't backed on anything? They just print money out of thin air and then they give it to the billionaires. So the people are just going to keep suffering and suffering and suffering because they're not getting anything. They're not getting any help. So we're going to witness, ladies and gentlemen, a social bomb that we cannot even imagine right now. Okay? People are not meant to be locked down. Right? Okay, maybe for a month, people will go along with it. Right? So you get, a lot of people acquiescing to this lockdown. Listen, I don't want to get fined. I don't want to get thrown into prison. I don't want to have to deal with the police in a negative way. So, I'm going to lock myself down. And also, I don't want to get infected by a highly infectious virus that destroys lungs. No matter what the numbers are, no matter what the death rate is, it's a dangerous virus. But there are ways of doing these things. There are ways of doing them. You can't force hundreds of millions of people under house arrest, right, and expect them to remain that way indefinitely. A month, 2 tops, and that's stretching it 2 months lockdown, tops. Is this going to be 2 months? Today is the 15th or 16th of April. I lose count of the days. I don't know about you guys out there, but I lose count of the days. But I think it's 15th of April today, 16th. No, 16th of April today. And we've been in lockdown here in Spain for a month now. And the people are starting to get agitated. Domestic abuse is going up. Women are being forced into their homes with partners or husbands or boyfriends that don't treat them very nice. This cannot go on forever, indefinitely. So we really do need to think outside the box, because nothing's going to improve anytime soon if human consciousness remains in the same level, you know, trusting politicians and corrupt leaders. Let's wake up, people. Come on, let's wake up spiritually and realize that we are eternal beings and that we decide what our fate is. Love you with all my heart.